Hello there, Eagles fans, and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
We are recording Sunday, November 24th, 2024. I guess I don't have to tell you that we're recording just a couple hours after the Eagles game because you can tell by our voices that we're recording the same night. How are you feeling, Dad?
Yeah, it was pretty good. My voice is there, but man, it was an intense game. It was fun. It was great. What a win. Blowout. Yes. I mean, beating everybody that we play. Everybody in front of us.
Gonna need a hot cup of tea tonight to help me fall asleep. But let's we want to, before we get into the episode, of course, we're going to talk about the Eagles and Rams, but I want to give a plug to the Philadelphia Eagles fan club of Colorado Springs. We went to Rhinos tonight. We'd missed the last 6 games. As you know, I just had a daughter. So Sundays we've been staying home, kind of hanging out with her and everything so my parents can see her. We've been watching the games around her. It's also nice to watch it when we're holding her because then you don't yell as much. It's a calming experience. But we were back at Rhinos tonight watching. I think there was 33 Eagles fans in attendance. A little bit down than what we're used to, but still nice to see them come out and kind of take over that section. We wanted to say a shout out to Bill, part of the Eagles group. He organized the Share and Care canned food collection this year and got over 102 pounds of canned food, which is awesome. I think last year they said they got like 50 or something like that. So the big uptick this year and got a lot going. So that's great. Congrats to you. Let's go ahead and get into it. So Eagles defeat the Los Angeles Rams 37-14. You could say that the score was 20, but it wasn't. It was 37-14 until they threw a touchdown in garbage time, which was, upsetting and annoying and stupid, as I like to point out. We really hate garbage time things here. I've seen players get injured and end their season and their careers in garbage time, and it's just stupid that you keep on going for no reason at all. But let's get into the good. Number one, Dad, talk about Saquon Barkley, please.
He's just amazing. Every week it's
lots of words, man.
It's just bigger and bigger and better, and it's unbelievable. He gets stronger as the game goes on. He just hits the hole. Of course, the offensive line is amazing as well. But yeah, Barkley, he just does everything. He's just incredible.
There's no words to express it. He gets a 70-yarder in the first play of the third quarter, and you think like, oh, there it is. That's his big play, and then he got a 72-yarder in the fourth quarter. Like 70-yarder, 72-yard touchdown. He ends 255 yards with 26 carries. That's 9.8 average. He also had 4 catches for 47 yards, so he ended up with 302 total scrimmage yards on 30 touches. I want to point this out. If you take away the 2 touchdowns, the 70-yarder and the 72-yarder, he still had a 113-yard game and averaged 4.7 yards per carry.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, even if you take away the big runs, he's still doing it how it's supposed to be done. I don't know what to say about this guy. He, like you said, he gets stronger as the game goes on. The first half, he was great in the first half. Ended the first half with, I believe, 73 rushing yards.
Right.
And then goes off for 255. He had a 70-yarder on the first play of the second half. You know what I mean?
Which breaks the all-time Eagles rushing record.
Yes.
By 40 yards.
Yeah. Shady did it back in the Snow Bowl.
38, sorry.
Okay, yeah. They did it back in the Snow Bowl.
Yes.
In 2013.
And I never thought I'd see somebody break that record then.
I thought that was the best rushing game we'd ever see by an Eagle, and we got it.
It was amazing.
It's just I don't know what to say. There's nothing you can really say about this guy. He's just nonstop. He keeps going. Thank you, Giants.
Yeah.
And the next thing I'll point out is really just the O-line. Give a shout out to the good. The O-line. It was great to see at the beginning. They do Sunday Night Football, they do the PFF grades. Right. I know PFF doesn't tell you everything.
I know.
Quinyon Mitchell was like 22nd. You're like, what? Like, how is that possible? But, they did the offensive line grades, and across the board, I think the lowest was Cam Jurgens at 12. I'm pretty sure that was the lowest. So everyone else was top 10. Becton was 10. And
which is crazy because he's a tackle, converted guard.
I know. First time playing guard. Milata was 1 on left tackle.
Yes.
Johnson was 2 on the right tackle. I think Dickerson was 2. Maybe I'd have to rewatch it. I think it was 5. I was
going to say 4 or 5.
So, all of our offensive linemen are ranging in the top 12.
And now you know why.
Yeah. It's unbelievable how they dominate. Even early in the game when you think like, oh, man, we're not really, we were saying it, man, up the middle is just not really working right now. Stick with it, and both of those touchdowns came up the middle. It's just it's unbelievable, this run game. Shout out to Kenny Gainwell as well, who even had a pretty darn good game. Only 5 carries, 5 for 22, a 13-yard touchdown. This guy's perfect for, you said
it. Came right after the Barkley pass catch off there on the side when he kind of got pushed out. And
26-yarder, yeah.
The next play, boom.
Next play, touchdown. And 13-yarder from Gainwell. It can't be understated how amazing this offensive line is, how great this running game is. Average 7.3 yards per carry. If you take away the two kneel downs at the end of the game, we average 7.3 yards per carry as a team. It's just this offensive line is the MVP of the season. You talk about Saquon, and that it's fair. He should be MVP of the season. Should be MVP of the league, hopefully. A lot can change. A lot can change, and they don't like running backs, but this O-line should win its own MVP. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They only let up one sack, and that was kind of a sack that, Hurts probably took too long on. Yeah, but man, they're unbelievable. It's incredible.
I was actually surprised that we only had one sack against us because, before the game we'd heard about the two rookies and they have a bunch of sacks, six and here and there. So it was pretty impressive that they did not. But of course, we're at that point again where we're only throwing the ball 20 times a game.
Yeah, through 23 times.
Which is, 4 a quarter, 5 a quarter.
Yeah.
Right. So
22 pass attempts and a sack, so 23 dropbacks technically. And he did take off and run on a few, so, it's big. Yes. But, man, the next guy I had to say in the good column, A.J. Brown, 6 catches for 109 yards. So many of them were plays that he broke. It wasn't like he was getting hit in stride for a 90-yard touchdown. No, he got the ball, broke a tackle, ran around, broke another tackle. Unbelievable. And then that touchdown, there was some Chargers fans, and they were cheering for the Rams, and a Raiders fan cheering for the Rams, whatever.
Right.
And they're like, L.A. all the way, whatever. They were saying, "Oh, not a touchdown," and I'm like, got 4 feet down. He touched down 3 feet and then dragged a fourth one.
Right.
It's just unbelievable.
Not knowing the rules. If he's hit the ground, you got to hold on.
Yeah, you got to survive the ground.
You get 2 steps in the end zone, you could throw the ball up in the air.
Absolutely,
it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's a touchdown.
No, it
was good that the referees, looked at it immediately. We knew it was a touchdown.
Yeah,
because if it wasn't, we were going to storm to the
Great job, great A.J. Brown game, O-line, Saquon, just all the way around. Let's jump into the defense.
Amazing.
This defense, it's like the Fangio defense. You kind of get worried in that first quarter. It was scary against Washington. They went down, they drove, they had a big play, they did this. Same with the Rams. A couple plays down, they got a fumble, which was great. We go down, kick a field goal, and then they drive down and, get a touchdown. And it's like, dang it. This defense is having a rough time. In the third quarter, in the second quarter, Dad, tell them what the defense did.
Well, we had 3 straight 3-and-outs, and then, of course, the last play before the halftime was a sack.
Yep.
So it was just incredible.
Yeah. So all in all, you're telling me in the second quarter they ran 10 plays.
Yes. And they were for
-3 and then a sack.
For -2 yards?
-6 yards. -6 yards.
The entire second quarter.
In the first quarter, I'm pretty sure they had 117 total yards.
Yeah, it actually popped up on the screen.
Yeah.
That was their most that they've had
all
year in the first quarter, so many yards.
And then they got negative 6 yards.
40-something.
He was doing good. He was doing really good. Kyron Williams. Jesus, sorry. I'm thinking Kaiser White.
But he had a fumble. Then he had another fumble that they recovered.
Yeah, the first half he had 55 rushing yards, so he was doing pretty darn good. He was. But the defense, unbelievable. Second quarter, like you said, 3 3-and-outs and then a sack, -6 yards total net yards in the second quarter.
It's just funny to me. It just seems like Fangio, early on, all they were doing is throwing the quick, slow out pass. Yeah. And it was driving me nuts. I want tight coverage, and of course, that's not Fangio's way. He wants to see what you're doing. He's going to say, okay, guys, this is what they're doing. And it was upsetting a few times because they had Nakua in motion, and I'm like, nobody's covering him tight.
Yeah.
And he gets a swing pass, and he takes it for 10 or 15 yards, and you're like, come on, guys, tighten it up. Yeah. But eventually, on the 3 3-and-outs, they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then we got a few sacks in there, too, which was incredible. The Kobe Dean had another sack, which was amazing. We had Sweat had a sack.
Yeah, end of the game with 5 sacks. Nakobe had 1. Nakobe Dean had 8 tackles on the day. Great game from him.
A couple pass defenses, a couple tackles he lost.
Cooper DeJean, he had a fumble recovery. Cooper DeJean also had 6 tackles. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had 5. Minshew, sorry. And then, Brandon Graham had the sack. Josh Sweat sack. Milton Williams had 2. He was playing great.
That was amazing because we needed someone to step up, and that's who stepped up.
Absolutely.
It was great.
Yeah, and that's the importance of Jalen Carter. He takes on that double team, and even when he took the double team, he made Stafford step up in the pocket, and there was Milton Williams to finish it for him, and he made him fumble. I mean,
that was beautiful. That was a shame we didn't recover that.
But it was great because it made the 3rd and 19 into a 4th and 23.
When they were actually going to try and go for it at one point, I think. But they're like, we got to punt it now. It's 4th and 22 or 28 or something.
They had to punt it. No, it was amazing. It was just.
Yeah, the defense is just getting better and better. I mean, it's just amazing. Josh Sweat played great. Smith played great. I forget who had all the sacks. We ended up with 5. I don't know if Smith got one, but I'm always pulling for him to get a sack.
No, it was Graham, Sweat, Milton Williams, 2, and Nakobe Dean.
Okay, but of course, Nakobe
Smith might have had a pressure. We don't have those stats yet,
right,
of course.
Right.
But, he played well out there too. I didn't see him make a bad play. So
right. And then Blankenship had a couple good, quick. That one great tackle that came flying up. The only thing that I was wrong about was I called for 2 picks. I thought we were going to have a couple interceptions in this game. It didn't happen. There was maybe 1 or 2 that were close. I thought that one where he overthrew the guy on the right side, and Gardner Johnson was standing, and at one point I thought, he's going to pick it off and take it all the way.
Yeah.
Because they pressured Stafford, and he kind of jumped. They did a jump throw, which is always bad. And, they didn't get one, but I was kind of bummed.
Yeah, and then a good tip pass by Quinyon Mitchell almost became a pick 6 for Rodgers, but I think the tip pass kind of pushed it off. But no, the defense, man, I just don't know what you can say about it. It's similar to Saquon Barkley in the offensive line. What do you say? I mean, and it's frustrating because we talked about the 14. They scored 14 points in real time. They scored 20 points with that garbage time. They were already down 37-14, down 3 scores, and then they score a touchdown. And it stinks because before garbage time, the Rams only had 222 yards.
Total.
222 yards. What did we have total, Dad?
480?
We had total of 481, and we had 2 kneel downs at the end, so 483. Yeah. So we had 483 yards. At that point, they had 222.
But they ran for 315. We ran for
314 rushing yards, yes.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's amazing.
316 if you take away the kneel downs. I hate kneel downs at the end of the game.
It shouldn't.
It sucks, but you have to.
It's just like the last touchdown of the game. There should be a little star next to it because it was, 220, 236 left. And
there was a minute and 6 left when they threw that touchdown.
When they got the ball. After Barkley's third to second huge touchdown.
Yes.
But you just want to see you're losing. We're winning the game by 23 points. It's 37-14. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds there, and they got to drive down the field. I really get upset about that. I just want to go over there and I want to just pull on Sean McVay's hair and just say, "What are you doing? Stop!" And then they do the onside kick. Like, what are you doing? It's just over. The game is over.
I mean, did we learn nothing from earlier this year? Chris Godwin tore his ACL.
Yes.
It was his ACL? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, and was out for the season on the last play of the game.
And then Stafford's in there. I'm like, I don't mind if they drive and score a touchdown at the end of the
backup
in garbage time. And it's
the
backup. That's fine. But Cooper. Now you're padding your stats. You're doing what everybody says you should be doing. It's over.
I looked at our defense, and we had taken most of our starters out. They still had, we put Jalix Hunt in. Nolan Smith was in. Trot was in.
I like that.
They put in Oren Burks.
Yes.
They put in our backups, and the rookies still stayed in because you want them to get work. But it's frustrating because what are you doing? Like, these guys are not trying. They're not. Stop. Like, what do we? It's one of those things that really bugs me.
If we were down,
it's injuries.
We'd run it 4 times. What are you doing? Like,
no, I know.
What are you trying to score for? It doesn't do anybody anything. Just like when the Commanders did it. That game was 26-10.
Yeah.
And then they scored 2, and then they're kicking onside kick.
Yes, I know. I'm tired. I hate for that. I wanted to put that in the bad, but
if it's a 2-score game, I get it. But
it's down.
They're down.
They were down 23,
37-14. And there's only they got no timeouts left. It's just asking for trouble. And I don't understand it. And the thing is, if somebody came in flying in and knocked Stafford for, a huge sack, there would have been a big uproar.
They're like,
what's he doing in the game?
Let's just move past it. But it's just the defense. Just want to point that out, though. Only a total of 290 yards for them.
But there should be a garbage stat, if you will.
We got it. Next thing on the good, I want to put, maybe we have to say it, give a little Nick Sirianni apology. I think there are still things that are being done wrong that I get frustrated with, the quarterback runs and everything like that. And I know that's Kellen Moore, arguably. I don't know. Right. But, since we yelled at him and since we, the TikTok that we were yelling at him and everything.
He was yelling at us.
Well, yeah, he was yelling at us. We're on a 7-game win streak, and I thought today he declined a penalty in a great moment. Instead of it being 4th and 3, it'd be 3rd and 13, and we got a sack out of it. And guess what happened after that sack? They missed a field goal. I mean, it's just that was big. I feel like he's really turned it around. His decision making,
kind of exonerated him on that. We kind of looked at each other and went, okay, we need to mention that Sirianni is okay, but he didn't. I also mentioned the flag at the time, the red flag. Everybody wanted the replay, and it ended up being a smart play because he did catch. He just fumbled out of bounds.
Yeah.
So, and they got the first down anyway.
Yep. And then he called the challenge on. What did he call a challenge on? What did he throw the red flag for? And then they almost ran a play. Remember?
Oh yeah, that was
fumble.
The fumble. The fumble.
Yeah, it was on the fumble.
Yeah.
I can't believe they called him down. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's weird.
But again, good challenge. Good use it.
I think he had great decision making today. It's just fantastic.
We did cause 4 fumbles.
Well, then you and I, we caused 4 fumbles as a team, and then you and I caused a missed field goal because we watched it and we looked at each other and went, "This is the weekend. Everyone's missing kicks all the time, getting blocked, and it's like, man, this going to miss this."
And he missed it. Stadium, and that was bad.
It was wonderful.
That you could tell that was kind of a crusher because then we took the ball from there, and I believe we drove right down and scored again.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
but just amazing game. But the defense, just playing awesome. A couple injuries here and there now, kind of on with the Huff thing, and hopefully we can get him back out there. But
to stay on the path of kickers, now let's go ahead and mention Jake Elliott. 3 for 3 on kicks. None of them super long.
10-yarders, but
31-yarder, 21-yarder, 31-yarder, and 26-yarder. So, it's good to see him go 3 for 3. I know it's not the 50s that we want to see him making.
Still kick the points. The good thing is we went for the points. And, I was kind of upset we didn't score early.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah,
it was kind of a bummer. But, on that first drive.
Yes.
But, again, he stayed within his thing, and he said, let's take the points. Yeah. And we took the points, and that's what you have to do.
Let's get into the bad. So, as Eagles fans, of course, no matter if you win by 17, 3, or 45, you're never happy. There's always going to be some things you're upset about. So, let's get into the bad. So, the number one bad. Struggling for the first quarter and a half. Again, slow starts. I know we got that fumble, which was great. Defense pulled that out because they were driving. And then we go down and get 3. Yeah. And it's hard because you're like, well, we want to score. But you tell yourself, well, they started with the ball and we actually started with the ball. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal. We go
flip the field, if you will.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they instead of them going down and getting 3, we got 3 on their opening drive. And we get the ball in the second half. So, I mean.
And that worked out perfectly.
We scored, yeah, exactly.
Again, yes.
So, 10 points basically on our opening drives, which is great, Right. So, it's just a bummer, though, the first quarter and a half, the struggling. And I say first quarter and a half because it seems like at the end of the second quarter, we start to kind of pick it up. The end of the second quarter, we pick it up. We went down and scored. We went up 13-7 before the half. And it's just funny how, it seems like even, a couple weeks ago, or last week, it was like, against the Dallas game. Okay. We started slow, and then we scored a second touchdown towards the end of the first half, right, on the second quarter. And then it was, it's like the first quarter and a half is just tough. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was, and it wouldn't really change. It really would have flipped that whole script if we had just driven down after that fumble and got a touchdown.
Yes, absolutely.
It's 7-0, and right then that's a kick right in the groin.
Oh yeah,
to push him back and just show him what's going to happen. And then of course we kicked 3, give it to them. They drove down and got a TD and made it 7-3. So that kind of stunk. But
next thing in the bad, design runs again with the quarterback. Now I think there are times that they're smart, and we've scored some good touchdowns on the Jags, the Jags, the Cowboys. We're really tired here. Sorry guys. Right. The Jags, the Cowboys. We've had some pretty good situations of running the quarterback draw, and I think this design run is good sometimes. And there was a time today where we on the first one we ran, we got 8-9 yards, first down's great, but then we ran it while we were going to kick that field goal. We were trying to score a touchdown, and they ran it, and it was Hurts right tackle for 2 yards, and it was just.
He also got crunched on it.
Yes, and that was on 2nd and 6, and it just was like, well, no, I don't. That's not really a rundown, and it's definitely not a rundown with your quarterback.
Yeah,
and I feel like the design runs when you run with Hurts, they need to be going into the end zone or he's going to slide. Like, I don't want my guy getting hit.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the desire of like, hey, Hurts, we're going to run you so you get tackled. Like, we don't want him to get tackled.
And play, we don't know it. That's fine, but it doesn't look like it to me.
It's different. No, this is a designed run.
And then the one time they designed run when we were right inside, late in the game, running the clock down.
Fourth quarter.
And then he ran on, I think it was second down.
Yeah.
And then we had to throw the ball twice, or might have been first down even, but
yeah,
I just couldn't believe he did that. I think it was right after a first down.
Yeah, it was first and 7, or his first and goal at the 7, and it was a design run and he lost a yard. Yeah. And then after that they threw the ball. So this was my next bad. Yeah, I thought there was some bad play calling in the fourth quarter. This drive here. So we get the ball.
We're never happy, but this is something that I just don't understand why he did that. It was 10 minutes left, maybe, or something.
So this is after they missed the field goal. Actually, we didn't score a touchdown after they missed the field goal. We went down, and with 10 minutes left, we ended up kicking a field goal. And we made it. But, yeah, it was just weird because we did the design run on first down. It goes down to 10 minutes, 49 seconds, and then he throws it. And it's like, well, we're trying to run the clock here, man. Like, we're trying to keep the clock
and get 3 points, but at least take 2 minutes off the clock.
If we get a touchdown, that's great, but we're trying to get the clock running right now because then we give the ball back to them with, 8 minutes left instead of 10 minutes and 37 seconds left, which they got. It's just – or 10 minutes, 30 seconds left. It's just frustrating. I thought there was some questionable play calling there. Yeah. I guess at that point you're kind of up and you're going to be going up pretty big. But still,
what's the harm in running it on first? Because I think we just got a first down.
First was on the 7-yard.
Second down and third down.
Yeah.
Why?
And I'm okay. Third and goal from the 8. Like say we lose another yard. Third and goal from the 8. Okay, now I'm okay with throwing it because you ran the clock down to 9:50.
40 minutes.
40 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty questionable.
They took a time. They take a timeout or something. You just pressure them and to give them that. And again, it was only 2 pass plays, but they were both incomplete. Yeah. And the one was close to be a touchdown, right? I mean, it was to
AJ
on the left side there. I thought it was
that was Johnny Wilson, but there was AJ. The AJ almost had one, and there was a penalty. It was offsetting penalty.
Yeah, which was the pass interference that we were really hoping for. Then we had they called it Dickerson slam, or he pushed the guy or something.
Horrible, unnecessary roughness call.
So, yeah, that's something they got to fix. But again, we were up big.
Yeah,
but
I know we shouldn't complain, but no, I am.
It should have been 8 minutes left with the field goal, and then it would have been 30, whatever.
Yes,
30 to 14.
Yes, which they ended up with only 14, so that's good.
Yes.
The next thing, my next bad, that this isn't really on the team. This is just what bothers me about garbage time. Quinyon Mitchell let up his first touchdown in garbage time. It's like that. It's annoying because all season he hasn't let up a touchdown, and then they get one, and it's like, well,
it's a minute,
6 seconds left. It's annoying. I know
down 23 points.
I know people are going to say like, oh, well, you got to play until you play, and I get that, but it's a minute, 6 seconds left. And you're down by 23 points, and now my rookie loses his touchdown. He hasn't let up a touchdown. He had not let up a touchdown all season, and now he has, and it's just annoying. I agree. I just hate garbage time. I think anyone who attempts to win a game when they're down by 3 scores or more, you should be slapped and you should be fined. Yeah. If anything,
I'm just hoping tomorrow on the TV shows when they talk about Sean McVay, and hopefully they give him a little. I don't know.
They don't for some reason.
A noogie or something on the head or something. I don't know.
They don't. The next thing in the bad, they scored 2 touchdowns, not in garbage time. They had 14 points up until the last minute. And both of those, before each touchdown, there was a pass interference call that got them down to the 1 or the 2. I think the one was a 2-yard line. And both of them were incredibly, incredibly questionable, I have to say.
The second one, definitely.
The second one, definitely. I mean, the first one, I don't know. I didn't see it.
It was on Rodgers, and
but the second one was
on Nakua. He didn't even grab his shirt. He didn't.
It was on.
And he didn't catch the ball because it was a terrible throw, and you're just like. And then
the first one was on Slay.
Yes.
Yeah. Second one was on Rodgers, and that was the really bad one. The Slay one,
he had the hook.
He hooked him
a little bit.
It seemed like the ball was 40 yards in the air.
Yes.
And then, the Rodgers one later in the game, that was just awful. So it bothers me that 2 of their touchdowns right before it, there was a really kind of questionable. I'm not going to say bad, but questionable pass interference.
Well, when you go from the 40 to the 1.
Yeah, on the 3rd and 18.
I mean, I've seen some pass interference, and I've seen some ones that are ticky-tack, and I've seen some ones that are not called, too. So, but at the same time, where's this guy up in the booth? Sunday Night Football.
That's not
you hear that quick thing where they come down, but that's not.
They don't do that with penalties, though.
Well, that's got to. I don't know. I know we can't.
And in the end, in the end, it was 4 penalties against each team, so it was fairly called. It's just it's annoying to me that 2 of their biggest penalties happened on the goal line. Come on, it just
put them on the goal line.
Yeah, it put them on the goal line. Okay, let's go to the hurts, the good, the bad, and the hurts. Nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about. Everything to praise. I mean,
turnover-free game.
15 of 22, 179 yards and a touchdown.
Never really put the ball in harm's way at all.
Never. He had 1 sack, long pass of 39 yards, 108 rating, which we don't care about, but 39 rushing yards, no rushing touchdown. Big surprise there. Yeah. That's because Saquon was not going down at the 1.
Had a couple pushes that were nice.
Yeah, they definitely.
One was nice where it stepped to the left and got 8 yards. Looked like you're going to break it.
I know. I thought so too. I'm like, spin it. Spin around.
Yeah, don't go down. They're not tackling you yet. That was weird.
I'd say he probably kind of took a sack that I don't think he needed to. I thought he could have thrown that away, but that's how
safety is better. Yeah.
And then his connection to AJ, you just found him everywhere. I mean, you just found him all over the field. AJ, of course, I said 6 catches, 109 yards and a touchdown. You just found him everywhere. It seemed like every pass that went to AJ was automatic. Like it was just, wide, he's got him. He was going right to where it needed to be. There was never a pass behind. There was never a pass too far.
No, it was perfect.
It was just boom, boom, boom. They were right on.
He had a couple nice ones where he caught it and then kind of made a move on the defender. The one time he broke inside, I thought, man, there's going to be a whole 50 yards, and there was 3 guys in there, but they got tackled.
The only incompletion he threw to AJ was the pass interference that got negated.
Yes.
So that's the
that
only.
That was almost one-handed catch, almost.
Yes, that's the only one. So just great game from. I thought a really good game from Hurts. I just only threw the ball to 4 guys. Dotson 1 catch for 4 yards. I know I said in my preview game my player to watch was Jahan Dotson. Right. And I said,
have a good game.
I said if he doesn't go off this game, or not go off, but if he doesn't get 5 catches for 40 yards, then I said, he'll never do it. But it's hard to even fault him for this game because we just ran the ball 44 times. What was the math we did?
Oh,
I can't remember what I said. 43 times, 44 times. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
7.3 yards a carry, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
Taking away the kneel down.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So it was 45 rushes with the kneel downs, 43 without. So I don't even know what to say. I mean, you can't.
He threw 22 times. He completed 15 of 22?
15 of 22, yeah.
So, I mean, that's a couple. Really no drops, just a couple, kind of sort of few passes where he's just throwing it away, right?
Yeah, he soared one to Goddard. That was going to be a touchdown. Remember, it was over his head. It stung. That was one of his big. Yeah, it was one of the incompletions of Goddard.
But Goddard had a few nice catches, right?
Yeah, only 4 for 19.
But still,
but it felt like he was a little bit. It felt bigger. It felt like he got like 4 first downs.
Earlier in the week, we said, we don't need him to get 10 or 15 yards. We just need a couple catches so they say, got to cover this. Got to watch that guy.
Well, on that 4 for 19, I bet 3 of them were a first down. I don't know for sure, right? But I feel like it,
But again, we really would like to see Dotson contribute a little bit more. I mean, they throw a screen pass to him. They threw another pass to him, but there's a penalty somewhere, so it didn't count. Probably an ineligible man downfield or whatever. Yeah. I forget what it was.
That's true.
But, it was still, all in all, it was a great and again, the sack that Hurts took, and I know he's protecting the ball, and at times he says, okay, take the sack and go down. And it wasn't a big damaging play.
No.
Take us out of field goal range or anything like that. No. But there was a few good runs from him. But I still would like to see them stop with the up the gut quarterback draw. Once in a while, yes, but not. I don't know how many carries he had. He had a bunch tonight, right?
12, yeah.
So take away some of the tush. So he still had at least 5 or 6 designed runs that one of them he got clocked on by 2 guys, and you're like, what are you doing?
And I'll blame him for that. I blame the coaching staff calling.
Especially early in the game, like the one that they threw late in the game. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, just give it to Barkley. And if it's Barkley's, then bring in Shipley. Bring in, just run it up the gut and let's run some time off the clock. But we're never happy. So
into the under the nest. Got 2 plays for the under the nest. These are the plays that kind of are the plays or the players who kind of go under the radar and get forgotten just because of a big play happening. Number 1 on the offense, Landon Dickerson. Saquon Barkley on his 70-yard touchdown to start the second half. Landon Dickerson flattened 2 boys. I wouldn't say flattened 2 boys. He pushed one out of the way, and then he destroyed another guy, and it set Barkley free for that 70-yard touchdown. A huge play. He's known for doing that. I feel like there's been several plays.
He did it in the Commanders game just last week. knocked the guy down twice.
It was Jurgens, Nate Jurgens.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did that earlier, too.
Oh, my goodness.
No, he did it last year against the Vikings, I remember, on a huge play to end the half. DeAndre Swift. We ended up getting a 61-yard field goal out of that. And Landon Dickerson, man, it's just he's
top of his game.
Big dude, and he's playing great. Like we said, he's number 5 on the left guard spot per PFF. I don't know if they do left guard. They might just do guard. I don't know.
I wonder.
Do they do? Is it by tackle?
Becklin was in there too, so
yeah.
He must have, I don't know if it's right side. I don't know
if they do left and right, because if it's tackles, then we have 1 and 2 on PFF.
Right, yeah, so it can't be. It's got to be left tackle and right tackle.
I guess, yeah, well, we'd have to check the numbers, but we'll see. But yeah, no, Landon Dickerson, great play, and he's playing at the top level. On the defensive side, I have Milton Williams on his second sack that led to a missed field goal. And I know I should point out on that second sack, Jalen Carter got a lot of double-teamed attention, so he was able to get in there. But that forced a missed field goal, which, we went down and kicked a field goal. And at that point, it wasn't over, but it felt that way. It was 30-14. It was 16 points. And it felt like it was kind of like, okay, well, now it's getting out of reach because it's in the fourth quarter. It's at that point. So big play by Milton Williams to get that sack.
Milton Williams also contributed tonight. He had 2 sacks. He had 1 forced fumble.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just all over the place again. And, of course, we went on Jalen Carter. Didn't have many statistics, but he did have a forced fumble. We also got GJ had a forced fumble, and so did Isaiah Rodgers. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Yeah, Jalen Carter, it stinks because he only shows up in the stat line with a tackle and a forced fumble. One tackle, forced fumble. But he just does so much more.
Takes the whole line on, yeah.
He's playing at an all-pro level.
How about Davis? What's Davis do?
No stats.
He's another one that's just the same.
No stats straight home.
Stuffs the line.
He does. Yeah. No, he does. And he was surprisingly higher in the defensive tackle ratings than I expected. He was in the top 25 or something like that, I think. And that was pretty good. But
Carter wasn't number 1. We were hoping he would be in that.
Yeah. That's where it's kind of like, wait, what? Like,
what do you need to
do? Injuries. So number 1, Slay left with game with a concussion early in the game. Didn't come back. Yeah, took a good shot. Rodgers came in and replaced him. Had an iffy game, but had a couple plays here and there.
Yeah.
The big one, Brandon Graham, going to be out for the season, tore his triceps. That was a gut punch. You and I, it's funny, we were watching the highlights before the game, getting ready for the podcast and everything, or before the pod, we were watching the highlights of the game, and, we're in a good mood, we're happy, it was great, I was so excited, and then we see that Brandon Graham's going to be out for the season, and possibly, in the last game of his career, tear his tricep, and I mean, I thought, the sacks weren't showing up because he's not playing, 100% of the snaps or anything like that. But I thought he was having his second best season since 2016.
His speed and some of those stuff runs that he stuffed the runs a few times. He was just incredible.
I mean, this is a player that we kind of forget. In 2022, he had 11 sacks.
Yes.
Just 2 years ago. And I felt like this year, the sacks weren't there, but I thought he was playing better than that. Yeah. I mean, this guy, 36 years old, playing at really, I thought, a Pro Bowl, second team All-Pro level. Like he's up there. Playing his 15th season, he's playing some of his best ball, and it was heart-wrenching. It was gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching, whatever you want to call it, gut punch. It was terrible to see him in that interview say that he's out for the season and possibly end of his career. And like we said, like if it was his last game, what a way to go out, because it was probably his best game since 2022.
Oh, easy, yeah,
easy.
So he had 2 tackles for loss. He had a sack. Just
3 quarterback hits. I mean,
incredible.
It is, and it's man, sending our prayers to him. Hopefully he heals back and comes back.
Maybe come back.
Maybe.
I don't feel he will. You feel he might have a little more.
It's just one of those things that I'm like, you were playing too well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's hard. I know there's the debate of like, do you want to leave when you still have some, or do you want to leave when you have nothing? And that's it's a hard thing to do. Jason Kelsey, he kind of made that decision where he left on his own terms, and he was an All-Pro, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowl in his last year, and he left the game at the top level of his position. And you ask, like, well, he could have had more, but what if he did? You can't. There's guys who tarnish their legacy sometimes.
Well, if that's the case, we're going to need to get a BG
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll
so.
get a BG up there on the wall. So.
Yeah, it's we're hoping he comes back, but we're hoping he's healthy first. He said he's going to stay around. He's going to continue to coach up these young guys.
And that's great.
Somebody will fill in. Look at Milton Williams tonight. He just was incredible, and hopefully we can get another defensive end, get Huff back from his injury.
Yeah, he's going to be on IR for the next 4
Coach up Jalix Hunt and continue. Sweat had a great game again. Yeah. He was all over the field. So Smith was there, didn't get a sack, but he's been playing well too. So
you never know what comes of this, but I like to say, back in 2020, we lost Andre. I'm sorry, before Jason Pierce, we lost Andre. What was his name? Andre, the left tackle that we drafted.
Dillard.
Andre. Is it Andre Dillard? Andre Dillard. Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
That's his name.
It just doesn't sound right. Yeah. Okay. Andre Dillard, we lost him for the season. And then we had brought in Jason Peters to replace him, and he also got hurt. Yes. And you know who had to come in and replace him? Jordan Mailata. Yes. He's the number 1 left tackle in the league right now. Yes. So, I mean, this is one of those things where it's never, you're never happy for an injury. It sucks. But you hope that you have that type of situation where, hey, Jalix Hunt's going to play more, and what if Jalix Hunt is the next
man up?
What if Jalen Hunt is Reggie White? I never know. What if Jalix Hunt is a good player, though? You don't know. And this is those types of things where you go, well, hopefully this is what comes of it.
Playing time.
But, gets the playing time. And hopefully Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, maybe they're all pro guys. I don't know. We don't know. But that's what you can hope for. But we're really sorry about Brandon Graham.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Hopefully he heals up and feels better afterwards and comes back and leads the league in sacks.
Well, it's funny because – he came back for this season, and everybody was saying, well, last year, 15 snaps a game, 10 snaps a game. But then this year we weren't getting the defensive end play, so he had to play more snaps. And
he just played great.
He's been incredible. It really is.
Bottom line of the game, 9-2. 9-2, and this is the good part of the season where it's still tough. We got some good hard games against us. We got Baltimore.
Yes, we do.
Then we got Pittsburgh in a few weeks after that, and we're in a tough spot. It's going to be a hard little journey. But the nice thing is, as we talk about, this is the last time that the Eagles will get on a plane this season, which is just great. Yes. From here on out, it's games at home or it's games in Baltimore nearby or Washington nearby.
That's it. The rest of them are home.
And, yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
It's great.
They got a lot of home games.
This is the payoff for playing in Brazil early in the season. This is the payoff for playing only 2 home games in the first 5-6 weeks. It felt like, so this is a big deal, and it's really nice to have this kind of blessing of we won our hardest road trip. Flying cross country for a Sunday night game. It doesn't get much harder than that.
I'd say they passed their test.
Absolutely,
because we were afraid of the wide receivers and Stafford because he's so accurate.
Yeah.
He did throw pretty well past. There was a couple bad ones the guys caught for him too, but
yeah. But so that's big. And the nice thing is to point out that today the Washington Commanders lost. Now, obviously, it's not easy or fun to root for Dallas. We always talk about you can't really do it even when you want to do it, But it was nice still to see them lose that game to Dallas in Washington. That was at home.
Yeah.
And kind of an embarrassing game for both teams. It was really great to have happen. And so it's nice to see the Commanders lose because now we have a little bit more of a lead. The Commanders going forward, I don't know how tough of a schedule they have, but I hate the iPad.
Yeah, they got a couple.
It doesn't do it right.
But who cares? You play who's in front of you, right? I mean, we always say.
No, I know you play who you play. That's just how it is.
I'm sure they have at least one.
So they got to play they got the Titans who just beat the Texans. They got the Saints who pulled up a couple weeks ago and looked pretty good. And then they got us, the Falcons, and the Cowboys again. So, you never know what's going on there. But this is a big deal for them to have lost and kind of give us an extra cushion. That's what makes this win even bigger is that they lost. So it gives us a nice little 2.5, 3.5 game cushion away from the Commanders. Right. So that was really nice to see. Other important games of the week. Obviously, the Lions won, destroyed the Colts. It was just not even fair.
A little bit tight early, but there was no way.
Not even fair, and then destroyed them to hold the number 1 seed. Vikings beat the Bears, so that was a big one. Vikings continue on their streak. Yes. A team that I would like to remind that the Rams beat. Just want to point that out there before everyone starts saying, "Well, the Rams are 5-5." Well, no, they're not. They're 5-6. But not just that, I hate hearing the whole, you haven't played anyone yet.
Well, it's funny before the game how they were picking, them the toughest challenge we've had all year and the 2 wide receivers they have. And, we think we met the challenge.
We were only favored by 3.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
On the road.
We were only favored by 3 on the road on the longest road trip that we would take, and beat them by almost 3. Beat them by 3 scores, 17 points. Other important games. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals, so it looks like the Seahawks will take over that division because the nice thing is the Packers beat the 49ers. Kind of put the 49ers playoff hopes to rest. It'd be nice to just kind of see them sitting on the couch come playoff time. And this week we're going into a pretty big week of Thanksgiving games.
That's right.
For those watching, happy Thanksgiving. We probably won't be recording until after, but happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see the Bears and the Lions and the Giants, Cowboys. A couple yawner games right there, but the Dolphins, Packers, I think is going to be a pretty good game.
We got the Friday game.
Yeah, Black Friday game, Chiefs, Raiders. I don't know. The last time, but other than the Bills lost this year, the Chiefs took. Last time they lost was Christmas Day to the Raiders last year. So you never know. You never know. Every week's different in the NFL. You know what I mean? It's all different. But you got anything else to talk about?
Really, that was a really fun night.
Huge game, great game. Congrats to all you Eagles fans. It was fun. It was really fun. We were back at the bar. We destroyed our voices. Got to go make some hot tea while I edit this now. It's going to be a rough recovery. But let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. If you like our Eagles Therapy podcast, do us a favor. Rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please comment down below. You can like and subscribe as well. Email us any questions at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. But other than that, from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, I'm Basil.
I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
And fly, Eagles, fly.